Hey, and welcome to Movement Mondays with Alien Athletes. I'm Alex Weaver, and we will get started in just a few. So for today's workout, all you're going to need is a water bottle, a yoga mat or towel to do exercises on, and that's it. Maybe a chair. So let me just make sure the stream looks good, and we'll get started here in a second. All right, so like I said, for today's class, all you're going to need is a water bottle, something comfortable to do exercises on, like a yoga mat or a towel, and then potentially a chair if you feel like you need something to do your squats to. So like I've said the last few weeks, if you are working out in a room without air conditioning or maybe just a warmer room, be sure to take breaks. It is hot today, so take water breaks as you need, rest as you need, and listen to your body. All right, so we're going to get started here in just a few. All right, so we're going to start today with some walkouts. So we're going to walk our hands out into a plank position and then back. Stand all the way up, and we're going to do this 5 times. Perfect. All right. So next up, we are going to do a runner stretch. So back into that plank, you're going to bring one leg forward, open up toward that leg, and then switch sides. And then go ahead and come into a tabletop position. So we're going to be on our hands and knees. We're going to inhale up into the spine. Exhale down, letting your chest drop towards the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. All right, so we're going to actually lay on our backs. So you can lay on your back, facing to one side. So you're going to take your hand, put it behind your head, come over towards the side you're laying on, and then open all the way up as far as you can without that side that's on the ground moving, and then come back. So we're going to do a few per side. And then go ahead and switch which side is on the ground. Good. All right. So we're going to do a set of bird dogs. So again, back to that tabletop position. And you're going to extend opposite arm, opposite leg, while keeping that core engaged. Great. So you can go ahead and sit back into child's pose. We're just going to hang out here for a second. Take some deep breaths. Go ahead and come on up, and we're going to go into a squat stretch. So remember, squat stretch, you want to be a little wider than your typical squat stance. You're going to come all the way down, grab your toes, sit back into your hips as far as you can. Maybe press your elbows into your knees. Bring those legs out a little bit. And then come up into a hamstring stretch. Back down into that squat stretch. And into that hamstring stretch again. Shift your hips around a little bit. We're going to come all the way up. And we're going to do some arm circles to the front. And backwards. All right, so you can shrug those shoulders a few times. Go ahead and walk on over to something you can grab onto, whether it's a wall, a chair, whatever. You're going to pull one leg back into a quad stretch. Make sure you're breathing. And switch sides. All right. So coming over to either a wall or something you can put your foot against, we're going to do a little bit of calf stretch. So lock that knee, lean in. Take a few breaths. And go ahead and switch sides. All right. So, go ahead and grab us some water. We're going to get started here in just a second. So our first circuit today is YTAs, single leg glute bridges, push-ups, and super people. So YTAs, we've done this class a few times before. To review, you are laying on your stomach, arms start in the Y position. You're going Y, T, A. So Y, T, A. So notice I'm only moving my arms, I'm squeezing my shoulders to lift my arms up. I'm actually resting my head on the floor. These aren't like super people, you don't have to lift your arms and legs. Secondly, we have single leg glute bridges. For these, you are laying on your back. You are extending one leg out. Hands on the floor next to you or on your core, it's up to you. Engaging that core, driving through your glute and hamstring to come up and back down. So just like that. And we'll do, if you can't do single leg glute bridge, that's okay. You can also do just both legs like this, coming back up and down, so keeping that core engaged, coming up and back down. We'll do half the time on one leg, half the time on the other. If you're doing both leg glute bridges, you'll just keep going straight through. Push-ups. So I say this every week. Please feel free to modify these push-ups to your body. So if you feel like kneeling push-ups feel better for you, or push-ups against a wall, by all means, please do that. You want to make sure, no matter what kind of push-ups you're doing, that you're keeping your shoulder blades down and back and pushing from your chest. So you want to keep those elbows out at about a 45-degree angle, and you're pressing from that chest. So even if I'm kneeling, I'm making sure my hands are under my shoulders and my chest is driving movement, and I'm keeping my core engaged. Same thing for full extension. Just make sure you lock out that core, come down, drive through your chest. Last but not least, in this round, super people. So very similar to the YTAs. You're going to be laying on your stomach, except this time you are lifting your arms and legs off, squeezing your posterior chain to come up and back down. So just like that. So you'll try to hold for 1 to 2 seconds each rep with those, and then we will rest and repeat all 4 of those exercises. So I'm going to give everyone 30 seconds, and then we are starting with the YTAs. Got about 15 seconds. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. you are on your back. Remember, if you're doing single leg, I'll tell you to switch halfway through. If you are doing both, you can keep going without stopping, and I'll tell you when we're done. So you have 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And switch sides. And rest. So next up, you have push-ups. Give everyone a few seconds. All right, 15 seconds and we're starting push-ups. Five seconds. And go. And rest. So last but not least, we have a set of super people. Got about 15 seconds. All right. We're ready and go. And rest. Great job. Grab some water. So we got about a minute of rest left. Feel free to stretch anything that feels tight. Just over 20 seconds. All right, so we're back at it with those YTAs. 3, 2, 1, and go. And flip on over. So you have those single leg glute bridges. Remember, I'm going to let you know when to switch. You are doing both legs. You do not need to switch. You just keep going. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And switch. And rest. So next up we have those push-ups. You have just over 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. So last but not least, we have super people. Five seconds. And go. everyone is grabbing water, I'm going to talk through circuit 2 for today. So circuit 2 today is a plank, squats, crunches, and jumping jacks. So for the plank, you can do a kneeling plank or a full extension. You can do on your elbows or on your hands. What you want to make sure is no matter what kind of plank you're doing, you want to keep your core engaged so you're not allowing your low back to arch. So whether you're on your hands kneeling or whether you're full extension, you don't want your hips to be dropping towards the ground, your low back arching. You want to keep that core engaged so that you are keeping the tension here. You can also do on your forearms. Secondly, squats. So for these squats, if you want to hold an object or something to make them more challenging, you can. So things to remember with squats. You are at least hip width apart with your stance, keeping that core engaged, chest up and open. So you're sitting back into your hips, driving your knees out, coming up. So from the side, again, I'm sitting back into my hips, knees come forward, then up. So really maintain that core. If you feel like your squat looks more like this, right? You're leaning really far forward. Maybe try putting something under your heels. So, for example, you can see, I'm going to stick this under my heels for a second. So if I elevate my heels, I take that angle off of my ankles a little bit. So when I squat, it's easier for me. I can stay really upright while still going all the way to the ground. You also can squat to a bench or a chair. So if you feel like you're going to lose your balance, really simple, just squat to something. If you lose your balance, you just sit. So that's going to be the second movement. Third movement is going to be crunches, which you can do any variation of. So you can do crunches where your knees are bent, you're on the ground, and you're just crunching up like this. So just squeezing that core. You can do legs up, crunching. Any of those are fine. And then last but not least, we're going to do jumping jacks, which jumping jacks, pretty simple, just like that. So that's our second circuit today. So I'm going to give everyone another minute or so before we start this circuit because I know it's hot today, and then we will get going. It's about 30 more seconds. And remember, we're starting with a plank for this round. Okay. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Fifteen seconds. And rest. Good job. So next up, we have those squats. We have about 15 seconds. ready, and go. And rest. All right, so next up we have those crunches. Give everyone a few seconds. If crunches bother your low back, you can also extend one leg and crunch with that leg extended, and then just switch. Which leg is extended? All right. We'll start in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. All right. So last but not least, in this round, we have jumping jacks. Let's get yourself some space. We'll start in about 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. Great job. So grab some water. Stretch anything you need to. We have one more round of circuit 2, and then a few core things, and we're done. All right, so we're starting back up in about 45 seconds. Remember, we're starting with a plank. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. And go. Fifteen seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Great job. So next up, we have those squats again. So remember, squat stance is at least hip width, if not a little wider. 5 seconds. And go. And rest. So next up, we have crunches. So if you did crunches with your feet on the floor, maybe this time you can mix it up. Bring your legs up. It's up to you. We'll start here in a second. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1. And rest. Woo. So last but not least, we have those jumping jacks. All right. Are we ready? And go. So grab some water. We have a few core activities, and then you are done for today. Okay, so give everyone a few more seconds, and we'll finish it up. All right, so we're finishing up with toe touches, Russian twists, and dead bugs. So for the toe touches, your legs are going to be straight up, and you work crunching up to touch your toes. If you can't touch your toes, it's okay. You're just crunching up towards your feet. We're going to do a set of 20 reps when you're ready, and go. And rest. So breathe for a second. Next up, we're going to have a set of 40 Russian twists. So for those, if you've never done Russian twists or you find them difficult, keep your feet on the ground. You're going to lean back slightly and rotate, just like this. If that feels too easy, you can lift your feet. You can lift your feet up and rotate like this. You can add a weight if you want, or you can just keep it body weight. So we're going to do a set of 30 total reps. So 15 per side. And whenever you're ready, we will start. And rest. Woo. And last but not least, we're going to do a set of dead bugs. So for these dead bugs, you are laying on your back, arms and legs both up, and you are extending opposite arm, opposite leg, keeping that core engaged. So you want to make sure your back stays pressed into the floor and your core is doing the work. So if you start to feel like you're arching, bring your legs back. If it's too difficult to do opposite arm and opposite leg, bring your hands to your side and just extend one leg at a time, keeping that core engaged. So we're going to do 20 total reps, and then you are done for today. So 10 per side. All right. And that is all that I have for you today. So, as always, thank you for coming to Movement Mondays. I'm Alex Weaver. I'm owner and coach at Alien Athletes. Thank you to ThunderWell for sponsoring this class. This class happens every Monday, right here, 6 p.m. Thank you all for coming, and I hope to see you next week. Have a good week, everyone.